Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. We're the Movie Couple. I'm Dustin.
I'm Wendy.
And this is going to be our non-spoiler review for The Old Guard. The Old Guard stars Charlize Theron, Kiki, Layne, and Chiwetel Ejiofor. When an immortal mercenary group suddenly gets exposed, they must fight to keep their identity secret and bring on a new member. When we first saw the trailer for The Old Guard, I personally was very excited for this. One, Charlize Theron is awesome in anything she does. She always kicks ass. She's always a great actress, and a lot of the movies that she is in are always a lot of really fun. Are usually a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it's from the trailer you knew it was going to be action packed, and I like that in the trailer they showed us that they can regenerate. They are I would say
they definitely say that they're immortal, but they don't say how immortal they are, or like how their immortality works, which is great. I personally thought.
Well, like what I really liked, I remember seeing in one of the trailers is they seem like they were killed on a job, and then you saw them regenerate like Wolverine. You're like, oh wait, they can't die. Like that's really, really interesting that it's a band of them. And kind of like you said, as we start the story, you realize that it's not just that they can regenerate, that they're also immortal. So they've been stuck at whenever I guess they found their immortality, however they came upon it, that's the age they stayed at. So we don't, especially at the beginning of the movie, we don't know how old everyone is.
And something that they did very well, I personally think, in this movie was keeping things a little vague. I personally don't like it when they try really hard to explain everything, but what they really focused on in this movie was the exploration of how would these people really react? How would they survive? How would they, act in the world today? Because if they have been living for many and many years, their way of survival has probably recently changed dramatically with all of the technology that is around. And I just really love the camaraderie that they had in the group, and also how they were very welcoming to a new person in their group, kind of a thing. How the way that they welcomed her, the way that they understood and they knew that they were dealing with someone who probably is incredibly freaked out at this moment.
Yes. So before we kind of jump into that, what I really thought was interesting, and as Dustin stated, that they have been around a long time. They've seen through centuries new technologies and this and that. There's so much that they see, which means that over time it gets harder and harder for them to keep their identity and their powers, I guess.
Keep a low profile.
Yeah, like a secret, because sooner or later people are going to be like, because we age, eventually people will start to notice, so they have to kind of like change their hair, change their appearance, keep on moving and things like that. They can't stay around for too long, otherwise people do start noticing. And one of the things that they kind of really drive home right at the beginning is they are trying to keep a low profile, which is kind of funny because they make big noises when they go and do their jobs because they're mercenaries. So there's a lot of that there. But at the same time, as they go on with their regular life, when they travel, they have to avoid getting their pictures taken, and just in case they're found out, just in case they get captured, just in case people want them. Once they find out about them, they want them for science, and that would be bad for them.
And I like how they kind of explain their history together. Since one of the best ways to do exposition is through introducing a character that's going along this journey with the audience. So when they do quote unquote exposition dumps onto the audience, they're actually doing it onto a character, which makes it a lot more believable and also a lot more enjoyable for the audience to go along for the ride.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like forced. Like when you're telling your origin to a new character, it's kind of like, well, she doesn't know, and that's what serves that purpose of them telling, like, here's my sit down, let me tell you a story, sort of a deal. And I absolutely love Kiki Layne's character in this one, because she's military trained, which I thought was so smart. And I don't know if like the source material, this is how they wrote it too, but I thought it was so smart that they gave her a military background, because
well, actually, I think all of them had military backgrounds, I think.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, though.
Okay, but what I was trying to say was that it was good because then they didn't have to take the time to train the new person.
Yes.
She already had the skills. She had she understood how to fight and how to work as a team because she's a U.S. Marine. So it actually worked out, and I just thought that was really, really clever and fit in perfectly because we didn't have to sit there and like do like a training montage, which I honestly love. I love me a good montage in any and all movies, but this one, it was just like a train, and it just kind of like once it just went and it didn't stop, and I loved it. It was the pacing was fantastic in this movie.
That is something that I definitely wanted to mention, is the way that this movie moves is very fluid. The pacing is amazing. There are some slow parts, but the way that they put it in with the action scenes to move the story forward, I think was beautifully done. And there wasn't a moment where I'm starting to be like,
I'm bored.
Okay, come on, let's get to the next action scene. But speaking of action scenes, this is something that this movie does insanely well. I loved whoever did the fight choreography for this movie. The guns, when they were using hand-to-hand combat, the way that they
their weapons
the way that they structured each fight, and the way that they could, since Charlize Theron has a lot of good experience in stage combat, you can pull out and get some of those really cool moves in there.
Yeah.
So the cinematography on all of the fights were really cool.
Yeah, we've talked about this in many of our reviews before when it comes to action films, that when you can take a fight scene, you can shoot it from a wide angle because the actors in it are so committed to every single movement in the choreography. And with someone like Charlize, who is so accustomed to being an action star, essentially she can handle it all. She looks great doing it. So does the rest of the cast. And to kind of watch the four of them working together in the beginning, it's just like they don't even need to speak. They know each other for who knows how many years. So yeah, it's really, really fantastic. And I don't want to spoil too much by going into some of the later scenes, but just know that every single action scene that comes up, you're gonna be just so happy. And I have to say, I gotta put it in this review, I really want like a John Wick Atomic Blonde crossover. Put them in the same universe, make it happen.
And that was something, not only was the action showed the camaraderie between the characters, but the thing is though, they did a really good job on translating their relationship outside of the action scenes to the action scenes themselves when they're working together, and you could tell that they have been together for a long time.
Yeah.
And it is just, you feel for these characters. You really get to start to sympathize with them, and you just find them fascinating. Because if you did come across someone that's, 200, 300, a couple thousand years old, you're instantly wanting to go, tell me a little bit about history, because
you were probably there.
You were probably there, or you probably heard it firsthand, and it just makes the depth of these characters so much more interesting. It pulls you in. And I'm actually really happy because the way that they set up the ending for this movie sets up for a really good sequel.
Yeah.
To where,
if they choose to do it.
If they choose to do it, and it flows into that ending very well. It feels very natural for this ending to happen. It's very satisfying, and it leaves them in a perfect position to make another one. And I just want to see Charlize Theron come back and kick some butt. But
watch her in anything.
But with all of this said, what are your final thoughts?
I absolutely love the Old Guard. I was very hyped by the trailer. I'm really happy that I wasn't disappointed. Not that I was expecting to be disappointed, because Charlize, like, you put her in an action role. She's charismatic. She's transformational in all these various different roles that she goes out and that she plays. But I love her specifically in action roles. I just think she looks so fantastic doing it. I found the story to be interesting, and I seriously love the movie. If COVID wasn't a thing and they put this in theaters, I would have gone and gone to the theater and watched this. that good. I really, really full-heartedly enjoyed it, and I know this is a spoiler, so I can't go into some of the details that I really want to go into, but give us a thumbs up on this video if you want to hear our thoughts with spoilers.
Yes, true. I'm right along the same lines. I would love to sit down and just tell you guys spoilers, because that's how much I truly enjoyed this movie. It was fun. It was action-packed. You got involved with the characters. So even though we got to see it for free on Netflix, if we had to pay for it to go see it, I would be happy to drop 20, 30, whatever, how much money it is. I haven't been to a movie theater in a while, so we kind of forget. But it's not just what we think. What did you guys think? If you guys have seen it, please keep it spoiler free in the comments below. But tell us how much, if you really liked it, if you didn't like it, what were some of the problems with it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.